Okay, great. Welcome. I see it's a very full house, so thank you very much for your time. I appreciate that you're all just filling time until the free drinks later, so this is as good a place to sit down and take it easy. So thank you very much. This is our third Shark Tank that we've done now at Stockholm, so year 3, so hopefully this year is smooth and straightforward. So we're about to do a version of the game which actually originated in Japan. It's where entrepreneurs are going to pitch their business ideas to a panel of venture capitalists. It's not venture capitalists this time. In the very many countries where this format is sold, it is known as the Tiger of Money in Japan, the Shark Tank in America. I'm British, so I know it as Dragon's Den. According to Emily in Paris, in France, it's called the Fox's Den, but it turns out that's not true, I think. In Hungary, it's called Among Sharks, which sounds so much more vicious. It's the Lion's Mouth or Den in Finland and Germany. It's the Lion's Arena in Romania. The Opportunity in Spain. It's also called the Millionaire's Box in Argentina, as far as I'm aware. I did go and look this up, which will become relevant later on. And then lastly, in Sweden, it's known as the Dragon's Nest, which I'm not sure anyone in this room would have recognized if we put it on the agenda, so we stick with the Shark Tank. So, what is it and why are you here? I have to find the pointer now, sorry. Bad planning. Okay, so introduction to the session. What we're about to do is take you to... Oh, come on, slides, format for me. No, I'm winging it, great. I can't even remember what this slide said. Is there any chance I can see the slide on the screen? That would make my life easier, even though I can't remember what it says. Great. So, in the session, we will have innovations. These are real innovations. So all of the things that you're going to hear about today exist in some form or are being developed to exist. The setting they are in is made up, okay? We are not judging real projects. That is not for us to do in this room, okay? But the concept is real. You will hear 4 people pitching 5 people, 4 projects. We also have 4 sharks who will be joining us on the stage in a minute, and they will represent an international development bank, a private sector actor, the city government, and we also have Lodah's very first homemade celebrity. She is a ski champion who has made millions in sponsorship, and she's now looking to invest back in the community that raised her. Okay, so you'll find out a little bit more about her. And lastly, you should have all have made money by attending this session. Does everyone have some money? Some people have more than others, granted. You guys represent the diaspora. You are the people who've left Lodah and made your fortunes elsewhere, but you're also looking to give back to your community. So after we've had the 4 pitches, you will have the opportunity to invest in the project that you feel will best benefit the community that you've left. So keep your money, you will find a reason for it. Okay, and then lastly, we're going to unpick these investors' thoughts and why they're doing this. So to be clear, all of the sharks are playing characters, but they all do this kind of work in their day-to-day jobs. So we'll ask them a bit more about what they're looking for to scale innovations, okay? So, firstly, before we get onto it, this is Lodah. This is the city that we're talking about. Lodah has about 60% of the population is urban, 35% is peri-urban, and we've got these pesky pastoralists who just keep moving around. So we've got about 5% of the population there. To be clear, this is made up, but I'm 90% sure all of you are picturing a city somewhere in the world where this may be representative of. So, just to sum up, so you're aware how the pitchers have developed their scenario. We have 40% surface water and about 58% groundwater with a little bit of rainwater harvesting. It's a new technology. People are quite excited by this, really new and exciting. It's an aging city. It was once doing really well and now not so much. And the peri-urban area just kind of sprung up without anyone realizing. So there's no infrastructure there. Again, sounding familiar yet? We have quite high disparities between incomes. There are high-income households, but the peri-urban households are spending about 20% of their income on water. There's a mixed governance in the city, very weak coordination across different ministries, again, and financial struggles. And lastly, there is a need for innovative, resilient wash solutions to address the climate impacts that are happening in this city. The water situation is getting pretty dire. There's increased uncertainty with whether or not it's going to rain and whether or not the recharge of the aquifers might happen. So that's the scenario. It is not a real city, okay? But it feels familiar. So, on to the good bit. Who are our sharks? So, first of all, we're going to invite up the head of the local government, Mr. Kitch. Please take the stage. You don't have to take too long. Okay, while Kitch is coming up, we have the newly appointed Anders, very recently appointed, who is the head of water and sanitation for the Development Bank of Infinite Opportunities. So Anders, please take a seat. Next up, we have Jerusalem, who represents the Big Company Foundation. This is a rather large company who's realized that Lodah has some very useful resources and is looking to invest to improve the services for the people and possibly their own businesses. Please come on up. And then lastly, I'm super excited. This is the first time she's come back to her home city, but we have Angel, who is the first national ski champion. And she has made millions in her sponsorship by Tag Heuer, Nike, you can imagine. So she's looking to invest in her home community. Please, Angel. Thank you. And lastly, remember, you guys are all from the diaspora. You once lived in this community and are looking to give back. So watch carefully and decide how you want to invest. My wonderful assistant will do some maths at the end to work out whether or not projects get invested in. So, on to it. We will have 4 pitches, okay? Each of these people are representing real work, but made up for our scenario, okay? They will have 5 minutes on the clock, and then our wonderful sharks will be invited to ask questions. They will then decide if they want to invest as we go through each one. You guys only get to invest once, so we'll wait till the end, and you can pick the one that you want to invest in the most, okay? Are you ready for the Shark Tank? Excellent. Right then, Wally, would you like to come up as our very first pitcher? Here we go. Okay, so Wally is going to be talking about toilets powering climate action. Are you ready? You've got a mic on there. And, oh, yeah, just adjust it to your height. Thank you. Okay, Wally, you have 5 minutes, please. You've just got one slide. You don't need a clicker.
To ensure that services and products are affordable in communities that are underserved. We are partnering with governments and utilities to ensure that they can adopt innovative sanitation solutions to serve the underserved, whom they are already are in dire need of sanitation services. And instead of using conventional systems, we are bringing these innovative solutions in the form of container-based sanitation dry toilets to also make sure that we are moving towards climate action. So these are climate resilient toilets that are also emptyable on a regular basis. We also are taking on a human-centered design approach to make sure that the markets are developed with the communities taking ownership of this. Currently, we are serving over 8,000 people with over 300,000 people with over 800 toilets, and we are looking to ask for 150,000 more and 1 million to be able to serve 10 cities. Questions?
It's fine. You don't have to use it. Okay, so Wally is asking for 150,000 to serve Lodah, but a wider investment of 1 million to serve 10 other cities within the country's environment, okay? Do I have to turn this on? Or is it on? It's on, perfect. Okay, so Kitch, you are the local government, so do you have any questions or clarifications about the investment that she's asking for the current setting, please?
Yeah, so thank you very much for your very enlightening presentation and pitch. And I'm interested in toilets because they are lifesavers. But you're talking about toilets powering climate action. So what exactly how do this happen?
Great question. So the toilets are container-based toilets, which are dry toilets, urine diverting at source. They do not use water, so hence we are saving water when people are using these toilets. We also build these toilets in the topographies of urban informal settlements where they are sturdy and are emptyable on a regular basis, hence also can sustain the flooding or any climate risks. And secondly, because they are emptyable on a regular basis, we evade methane because the toilet decomposition of waste does not happen continuously since the waste does not stay too long in these toilets.
Okay. Thank you. I wonder, Angel, if you have any questions about this, whether or not you're interested to invest.
Very interesting presentation. Congratulations to bring such topic. I was interested to know how are you creating jobs behind the process, and how many jobs are you going to create when you take the scalable level to 100? Is it 100? 100 that you want to increase?
10 cities.
Oh, yes. 10. So how many jobs would you create with this?
Great. So through the human-centered design approach, we make sure that the service is designed together with the community. We also ensure that the communities are taking on sanitation for themselves, and we employ directly from the communities whom we are actually servicing with the product and bought the service of collections. Currently, we have a job base of over 1,000 people reached, and looking forward to getting to 10,000 if we scale to 10 cities.
Wow, sounds like you've done some good work in Lodah. Jerusalem, from a private sector perspective, does this project interest you?
Very interesting. Thank you for the presentation. My interest would be, how much does it cost for the product, first of all, and also the entire operation cost?
So the product right now costs $1,500 for installation, and we need another at least $1,000 for operating the toilet and making sure that it's sustainable for the next 3 years.
So Anders, I'm going to come to you next. The Development Bank of Infinite Possibilities, is this infinitely possible? And what questions would you have?
Well, thank you, and thank you for the presentation. So obviously this is an increasing problem in urbanization. So my interest, and I'm a bank, right? So I want my money back. So can you explain me the business model here? Who is going to pay for the production, distribution, and operation and maintenance? And is this a grant play or is it an investment? Can I get my money back?
Wow, I feel like I'm right in the room with a bank. Thanks, Anders. Wally?
So you are not going to get your money back now.
Okay.
But as we scale and we make this service more sustainable and communities taking it over, we are looking to partner with government so that government can come on board and make it affordable, but also you will be able to get your investment back. For every dollar you invest in sanitation, you get a 4x back in return.
Oh, tempting. I mean, Kitch, as government, how do you feel about that? Because it's your investment, right? Please.
Yeah, I think I'm also very interested in the number of jobs that this will create. As a politician, you know, it brings a lot of political capital for me to know that I'm creating jobs. So I didn't really get the idea the number of jobs you said you will create. Can you repeat that with this investment?
So, in the communities that we serve, we have people who are taking on the toilets. That is the first job. The landlord who owns the toilet and is providing sanitation to the people who are renting from him. Second group of people who are getting jobs are the waste collectors. So within the same communities, we want to employ the same youth who are in those communities to service these toilets in that full network. Third set of jobs, we have local entrepreneurs who take up the toilets and run these as businesses on pay-per-use basis. So rough numbers, currently with a toilet network of 8,000, we already have 9,000 jobs. So we are looking at increasing this to 10,000 toilets, and so that would be about 11,000 jobs created.
Fast maths, I like it. Sharks, any more questions before I ask you about whether or not you would like to invest and how much? Please, Jerusalem. Love it.
Just to understand, so the 1,500 cost, does it include the installation, all the service you do, or is it a product only?
So the 1,500 includes the installation cost. So what it takes to actually get the customer or the toilet in that plot, which means the cost of people, the sales team, the cost of marketing, the cost of onboarding, the cost of the hardware itself, which is the toilet construction materials, and the cost of the government approval, because government is also a key partner in this.
Okay. Any more questions? Our politician in the room.
Yeah, I think this is becoming very interesting because I want to just emphasize the issue of the number of people you employ, and I'm thinking that for the Bank of Infinite Possibilities, if we have more toilets, and our people, we are able to eradicate open defecation. And then our people will save more, and they will invest more. They will open more bank accounts, and
Yeah.
So yeah, so 11,000 jobs seems very good, but you think that this is this will really improve their livelihoods in a significant way by if they have to take time from their farms to put in their work? What do you think?
She's saying.
Yes, this is going to improve livelihood significantly. So, without a toilet, we are also facing the effects and challenges of non-safely managed sanitation, which again, people are losing time off work by getting sick, and so that time is reduced. Secondly, if you think about when we think about the economies that are being spurred within these local communities, the landlords are able to increase rent, hence increasing the amount that they are receiving. And we are creating business people who are running the toilets as entrepreneurs.
Okay. I'm going to let Anne, you both have questions. Make them short, and then we will ask you how much you're going to put in.
Yeah, just for me to know what is, I don't know if you have, if you already did the environmental study to also understand what is the cultural impact a such project can have on people, local people. Yeah, thank you.
The environmental impact of the sanitation system.
Yes, so without toilets, people are still literally living in the same shit that they are producing. And so the environmental impact is we are now removing all this waste and making sure that it's not going to the same communities where people are living and also not going into the same environment, which means water bodies and the environment at large.
Stop lobbying behind the scenes, hey? Keep it clean.
And to my government colleague here, I'm the bank for infinite possibilities, not infinite money. That's a difference. there's lots of possibilities to fund out there. Anyway, so my question is more on the users. How much would they be prepared to pay for a toilet? Have you tried that, and what kind of business model could we introduce over time?
Yes, so the users also pay for the toilet. They pay a user fee because they are taking sanitation into their own control. They understand the problem that they are trying to solve for themselves. And this is the only way the model will be sustainable, if the user is also putting in some money to run the operations.
Okay, that's all the questions we have time for now. You guys will still get a chance to invest afterwards, so just remember which your favorite projects are. But I am going to start with the Bank of Infinite Possibilities that doesn't have infinite money and ask how much you're willing to invest, if at all. You may not want to invest, that's okay.
So I would invest condition on a contract with the government here, that they would pay the entrepreneurs for the toilets. Then I could invest half of that sum and see that government comes in with half of it.
Interesting. I like the conditionality. I guess, Kitch, you're going to have to respond.
So we have to pay the entrepreneurs for the toilets. Yeah, so I think we're going through some budget cuts. But I think there are many possibilities, because our city is very welcoming, and our ski queen here has done us proud. I think we'll be knocking on her doors to see how we can partner to ensure that together we set up a small charity to mobilize resources and see how we can work together to fulfill the condition you're talking about.
Okay.
That sounds brilliant. I could suggest that if you provide, I go in with the full amount, as long as you provide a guarantee. A guarantee, you don't need to be liquid. You don't need to have the money. You just provide a guarantee. If there's losses in the future, you pay me back. And then I'll provide the full amount to the project.
Oh, so Angel, do you want to come in on this, seeing as you've already been offered up as a funder?
As a funder, I'm happy to also invest, but more on education, on how to process with this, as we will never stop raising for education. And I think a such project can be really interesting also to get as much as possible youth involved from the ground, and just, telling more on how it's working. So I am happy to invest.
How much?
How much was the bank?
The bank's putting the full million in, right?
4 million?
No, the 150.
Oh, just the 150 for the one city. Okay. I forgot to update the slide. I'm so sorry, Wally.
But that's debt, right? So
That's debt,
from a perspective, we would like to see some equity as well.
Okay. How much are you going to put in? I need a number. There is a competitive element to this.
100.
Okay, another 100K. Okay, Jerusalem is private sector.
It's very interesting. I like the fact that it's market-based approach, and I like the sustainability part of it. I will invest some of my money, but I need to do more calculation and advice from my team to understand much better. I like the approach, I like the customer-centric idea, and I like the cost as well, but I might need more things. So at the moment, I will just
At the moment, you're
hold.
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
on hold, because I just want to understand the whole thing first.
Okay, Kitch, you get final word.
I think that I'll encourage the private sector, because we are doing some bylaws to do some tax reforms, and you get some tax cuts, so more money to invest. This is just to encourage you to.
Okay, so it looks like, Wally, you're going to get the full amount, but our politician in the room has not quite committed to the guarantee, if anyone else noticed that. But there is some potential interest. So you've got some further work to be done, but so far, so good. Okay, thank you very much, Wally.
Thank you.
Okay, that was the warm-up. So we have our next picture. And, you know, you guys are a hard audience. I think you're the toughest sharks we've ever had, just to say. Okay, so next up, we have M-Water. So John, would you like to come and take the stage, or maybe not? He didn't know what he agreed to, and now might be less willing. Okay, so John is going to pitch around integrated drought monitoring systems. As I mentioned, water's becoming a bit of a challenge. So you have 5 minutes, please.
All right, sharks, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to make you any money, and I'm not going to pay your money back. But what I will do for you is I'll make sure you stop wasting your money on things that don't work, and I'll help you to make your money go farther. We all have to do more with less in this environment today that all of us are having to live in the international water sector. So I'm with M-Water. We're in the business of making digital public goods for the entire sector to share monitoring, data analysis, and we have a free data platform, a mobile app, everything that you need to collect data, act on data, and use data in your decision making. So you probably know this already, but you know there's a big problem with drought. By 2050, 3 in 4 people will be suffering from drought. And in Lodah, we know that these problems are serious. The water table is declining. There's a lot to be done. So we've done a little research on some of the past projects that you've done, and we've noticed that there's a lot of digital infrastructure that's missing from the projects that you've built. You've built hydromet stations and monitoring wells, and you've had programs that could benefit from using real-time data about climate variability. But we notice that a lot of those aren't working right now, and they're not being used, and the government's not sure how to put them to work. So on the other hand, we've got global data sets from satellites that are amazing, that can tell us past rainfall, flood predictions, drought predictions, but that data isn't getting into the hands of the decision makers in the water sector, the local water manager that has to decide what to do about their utility or their water system today. So like I said, we've been building digital public goods for 13 years. We have 350,000 users around the world in 198 countries and territories. So we know how to do this. We know how to scale digital products. And what we do lives on after the project. So many times you'll see a data system get built just for a project, and it only gets used during the project, and by the end of the project, nobody can access it anymore and nobody knows how to use it. With M-Water, you get something that will continue on after the end of the project. And what we want to do is take all this data that's being lost right now, integrate it, bring it into our platform, ingest it, localize it, and build you something kind of like a weather report for the water manager at the local level. So they will have access to the latest satellite data projected to their area. They'll be able to find out the climate risk assessment of their assets if they've mapped their assets using our global asset mapping standard. And they can use some of our powerful tools like Integrator, which will allow you to connect to sensors and other types of data that's being analyzed manually right now by hand, by an expert, something like that. And we'll make it all accessible to you so you can make better decisions. We know how to do this. We know how to scale things. When you build something in our platform, it will keep working for you, but it will also scale to the national level. It will scale globally. As soon as we release something, there's very little additional cost once we build something for one city to use it in every city in the country. And we can help you to stop losing money on expensive infrastructure that's being lost all the time. We can help get people jobs, collecting data and reporting data, and we make it all very inexpensive and available to the water utility manager. And we make this free for everybody. So if you invest $150,000 in this project, it won't necessarily be $150,000 everywhere. It will scale, it will be available to everybody, and you'll be an investor in the digital public good that is M-Water and that we're building together. So thank you for your time, and I look forward to your investment.
Thank you. Great. So there's no return on an investment. Who'd like to start? Oh, Kitch, always happy to speak about your city, right?
And especially now that we have problems with drainages, and he's asking for me to invest in this system. I want to be convinced. Why would I take money from my constituents that will be used to build drainages that will solve the issues of drought that we have been experiencing? I mean, it's a drought early warning prediction system. Okay. So
And flood.
And flood.
yes, so I'm on point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why will I take money for drainages to invest in this system that will just be somewhere? Please convince me.
Yeah, this is a good question, because what we find is this data tends to live in the ministry level, or it lives in some technical experts within the utility, but it doesn't get down to the local level. What we'll give is every municipality, every neighborhood, every local government authority will be able to access this data. They'll have access to the same data that the experts have. It'll be translated into very simple terms that they can understand in terms of what's happened, what's likely to happen next, and it will be there to help them make decisions. But also it will help to contribute to the bigger planning process. So you can say that when decisions are made about where to extend new projects to improve drainage or to reduce flooding, and people say, why are you building it there instead of here? Why don't we, you have some kind of basis to say, this neighborhood is at the greatest risk, we're going to start here, and here will be the benefits if we do it. And we have tools for even projecting the impact of new infrastructure that you could build in the future.
I think for me, I'm out. I
Oh.
don't.
Straight away.
Yep.
Okay. Any reason?
I think he finished it in the first line.
Great.
There's no.
Could I get you back in?
I won't.
Because-
I
Because
definitely won't.
The private sector depends on government data to make decisions about how you're going to invest in plants and facilities. You need to know where water resources are and where they're going to be reliable in the future. So we'd love to work with you, find a way to make it possible for you to get some value, some actual monetary value out of that data.
Yeah, unfortunately, no. Thank you. Definitely no.
Love it.
My philanthropist.
Yeah, please, Angel.
Okay, that's very interesting. If we look at the context of the city, we have more groundwater that is supplied for drinking. How do you think a search system can help where we are in a situation where people want to get more drilled, like to just get access to water, and bringing a search very brilliant but interesting technology, but in a context that is not maybe aligned to it. So how do you think this project can benefit to my people?
Let me give you an example.
Also knowing that I'm not a technical, I'm just a philanthropic, so I invest if it's,
Yeah.
In Lodah, we know that there have been a number of wells that have been drilled and have failed to bear water. So we've seen this time and time again, and this is a real problem. I'm not making this up for Lodah, but it's everywhere that we work. Governments will tell us, the contractor drilled this very expensive, very deep borehole, and they said it didn't produce enough water. And they're not even using maps of aquifer, productivity and things like that we can actually bring into the platform, so that the local decision makers can say, no, we looked this up and we see that this is probably not going to work, or this is the best place to put this. Or we also have tools that will tell you where the populations are living that lack access to nearby water sources, and you can target them first. So it helps you to make your investment, in the community more equitable and go farther in terms of reaching people.
Anders, please.
Thank you for the presentation. Very interesting. So my question is, so this funding, 150K, how does it benefit this municipality exactly? What kind of investments are you doing that's specific for that and not your global system? That's my first question. The second question is on the economic return of benefits. Can you try to explain, and maybe even more to the mayor here, how that would benefit him financially? And we can look at taxes, for example. Could he has a bigger tax collection? Is there fees he can earn? Because if he can that, I can lend him money, and he can fund your operations by grants, and then when these things are coming back, he can pay me back, right? But because you're not to play for me because you're asking for grants, right? And my grant window is really small as a bank, so you won't get any money from me.
And this is really a small investment compared to your. I've seen the size of your investments, but I would say that when you often we'll see with the bank's investments, you don't have infinite money, but there is a lot of money being spent, and we observe that a lot of it is being spent up front, and then later the monitoring systems come in, and they may be telling you information about how that money should have been invested instead. So what I can tell you up front is we can help you to avoid that problem of investing money into infrastructure that's not used 5 or 10 years later. That's the first thing. And to the Honorable Mayor, I would say we will help you to have an ability to know who's paying for water, who's got access to water. Often people come in and they say, I don't have water, but actually their water was cut off because they didn't pay. And they may lack the systems to know that that's what's happening. Water use permits are rarely enforced in many countries. So we give you a mechanism to know who's actually paid their taxes, their fees and their use fees. So we give you a chance to make money rather than just learn some useful insights.
Interesting. I'm going to ask, we know the private sector's out. Honourable Mayor, I'll come to you last because you seem very reluctant to invest. So, Angel, would you like to offer whether or not you're interested to invest?
I would say no, so I would join my colleague. Why? The reason is because I'm more interested in tangible solution for local people. And even though this seems to be a very smart and interesting tool, it's much disconnect with the priorities of water access, in my opinion. So my answer would be no.
That's okay. Anders?
Yes, so I would invest if you were considering having, I understand you want it to be public, right? But you can also have maybe a premium where you can sell some data. So if you want to think about the business model like that, where you're selling some data to industry, etc., we could discuss a loan, because then there's some cash flows that we can look at. The second option is, of course, that the mayor here comes to me and asks for a loan for long term, because he can see the financial and social benefit over time, and then he can pay me back for the loan. But I wouldn't invest at this point.
Okay.
Okay. For the city, I think, as politicians, we need to, they love to see tangible stuff, things they can touch and feel. And I see from my own point of view, based on my exposure and experience, I see the benefits, and I will consider the loan if it's interest-free.
There's always an angle. Okay, so not bad, okay? Don't worry, there's still an opportunity for the diaspora. So there's still time. Okay, so thank you very much, John.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, we're halfway, and don't forget, you guys get to invest some of you have got more money than others. It happens like that. Okay, so our next pitch is coming from Prit, and we're going to be talking about constructed wetlands for informal settlements. So, Prit, thank you very much. I need to work on my entrance music.
Bloody hell,
Get there.
this is bright.
Yeah. Putting you under the spotlight,
Hi, so I'm Prit, and I'm pitching for constructed wetlands for low-income settlements. Well, as you all might know, that constructed wetlands are nature-based, engineered ecosystems that harness the plants, soils, and microbes to naturally treat wastewater, and this is specifically for informal settlements. These wetlands are designed to be decentralized, modular, and are connected to small bore sewer systems, which make the cost significantly lower in terms of other treatment options that are there. Centralized sewage systems can be put in place, but pretty impractical given the densities in informal settlements. And on-site sanitation systems are extremely difficult to install and access in dense urban populations. The design we are going for is actually an innovative model that reduces the footprint, the land footprint, by 40%. And we do this by optimizing flow channels and using compact modular pre-treatment systems that reduce the land requirements substantially. The problem we're trying to solve. Well, we all know, I mean, it's a direct crisis on sanitation. Only 40% of the city has access to any kind of sanitation. Both the treatment plants are not functioning, so raw water is actually discharged into the river, directly affecting the quality and quantity of existing water resources, that's ground as well as surface water. And thus, this solution addresses the water scarcity issue that we are all facing. And in doing so, it addresses the climate stress. We've seen erratic rainfalls, we've seen long periods of drought, and water resources are getting scarce. So this is what we are suggesting, a tangible solution, as you might put it. What is the value proposition? Well, it is a resilient system. It can take climate variability. It can function during droughts. It can also function during high flood events. It is affordable because given the way the system is designed, it lowers the cost by 60% in comparison to a conventional wastewater treatment plant. And it relies on local expertise. It relies on the community to actually manage the entire system. It does not need any technical expertise or limited technical expertise as compared to other systems. And it then gives a lot of co-benefits, mainly around improved water quality, for sure, but also enhancing biodiversity because it's a wetland. It also enhances greening of a certain urban landscape itself. And if redesigned or re-engineered, you can use the pre-treatment systems that are underground. You can redesign them for public spaces like, I don't know, could be a basketball field or a mini football field. And you will not notice that you are actually using a wastewater treatment system for multiple uses in the same sphere. And in doing so, I'm going to ask you a very lonely sum of $15 million. Yeah, go big or go home. 15 million USD, but it will treat the wastewater from at least 100,000. That's a conservative figure. 100,000 low-income settlements, decentralized in different parts of the city. And if you actually get into the annualized capex and opex cost, this comes to between 10 and 18 USD per capita per annum. 10 to 18 USD per capita per annum. That's cheap.
Okay.
I'm open for questions.
Thank you. Okay. So I guess 15 million. I'm going to go straight to the Development Bank of Infinite Possibilities on this one.
Thank you, and I really like the impact that you would create with these kind of interventions. Now, I really wonder how a pilot can cost 15 million.
No,
I mean, that seems quite expensive for a pilot. If we're talking about a pilot, maybe you can show a proof of concept maybe for 500,000 to a million. Here it seems more like an investment, right?
It is.
And then I'm coming to the next question. If it's an investment, what business model do we have here, and if not now, what can we see in the future so it's sustainable and not the mayor has to pay for everything. You said that the production costs they were affordable, so maybe you can tell us a little about what does it mean in this context, affordable? Is this community able to pay for it? 50%, 100%? How much of the installation would they be able to pay? And that's the first question. The second question, what kind of benefits, financial benefits, could they see in the long run so they can actually pay back that investments?
Okay.
From agriculture or otherwise.
So to go back to your first question, if it's a pilot or it's a full-scale investment, it is a full-scale investment. Design, pilot, and go scale. If you consider 100,000 people as pilot, that would be a pretty big pilot. So it is a full-scale investment. To answer your question, how much investment can come in? It is social infrastructure. This has to be somehow state financed. So you giving the money to the local government or the national government is probably the way to go. How much money you will get back, I don't know. As Wally put it, $1 invested gives $4 back. And that's a macroeconomic benefit you're getting. You will not see the impact almost immediately, but it is on a larger macroeconomic level. So it is social infrastructure. It is not something that you can put in money and get it back out. Yeah. So that's the difference.
Maybe I should pass this to the mayor.
I think this looks very interesting, but I was wondering if there are no smaller community-based treatment plants that we could use that are much cheaper and that have some resource recovery components into them, so that we can begin to think of seeing the direct benefits coming to the community.
You tell me.
I'm asking.
Why am I shooting myself in my own foot? I won't do that. You tell me.
He is a businessman after all. He's not going to tell you about his competition, is he?
Yeah, so I'm wondering if he could consider the model, because this seems
Okay.
like I don't see the immediate benefit for me to
Right.
convince the electorate that this is something beneficial to them, that we could invest the city funds.
Right. But give me one good model on a resource recovery that has worked commercially. I would ask you that question. But
I'm not sure the mayor would know the answer, though. He's just thinking about his people, right, Kitch? Just about the people and the taxes.
All right, good.
Yerusalem, do you have a question as private sector?
I don't have a question.
Do you have 15 million?
Not really to invest on this. I'm about on the return of investment, and I am like, I just want to see the first presenter again. For me, I think my head keeps going to number one. So I might look deeply on that project. And
okay, so you've had a change of heart now. You've seen everything else.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the next presentation.
Okay. So politely, she's out.
She's a tough one.
She is, isn't she? I wonder what her business does. Angel, please.
Yes, that's very ambitious for a nature-based solution approach, not using so much technical expertise, but local knowledge. So I'm just curious to know a little bit more. What do you mean by that?
What do I mean by nature?
Yeah, because when you presented, you mentioned that it's integrated local knowledge, rather than technical expertise. So if you can just tell me more about this before I jump to my second question.
Well, so nature-based solutions usually use they kind of mimic natural treatment processes where you have very limited human interaction within the entire process. I'm not saying it's not there. You need to have it, but it is much lower in terms of actually running a conventional treatment system where you have pumps, you have all the systems that run to actually treat the system. Here, it is basically you let nature do its job. Yeah? And you are here to maintain that thing as it is, in layman's term. If I can, did I answer your question? Not really. Okay.
Not the way my ear wanted to hear. So I heard your words. Okay, so my second question, it's yes, of course, I want to make sure that I know there is accountability for the money I'm investing, right? So here we are talking about 15 million.
Yeah.
In a context where we might not have all the expertise in terms of project management. So how would you guarantee, how could you guarantee that the investment will go to the right direction? Also, not judging anybody, but I am a philanthropist, so I can say what I want.
Sure. Free world.
But also knowing I hope the village is in Africa. So in a context where we also have weak governance issues, where...
You're not referring to our great mayor over there, are you?
I don't want to...
Okay.
So just in this context, how could you guarantee that the money would not just be a waste? Like the fund, if I invest on it, will really benefit to the people on the ground, and not going to bureaucracy or to the, I don't want to say louder, but you get it.
Are you implying that he got a new iPad recently?
Well, you would go to the same tendering process and the procurement processes that due diligence might require. The bank does that quite a lot when it puts in, infrastructure projects. There's a lot of due diligence that goes. I'm not saying everything goes the right way, but it minimizes the impact of money being lost. And yeah, that is how I would do it. It's a social project. It will be under the government. It will be run through the government with the banks in it. So yeah, that's how I would put it. I cannot say the money will not disappear. I can't guarantee you that.
Okay.
But
okay. So Jerusalem, you're out, right?
Yes.
Angel?
Yes. Well, again.
Sorry, before you get in, give me one more shot at Kitch and asking. He asked about what economic value can you get, and I retract my words now. Actually, this is a true case. I'm not inventing this. The wetland systems in Calcutta actually produce 2,000 tons of fish every year. So that's an economic benefit you can have from a wetland system. Yeah, 2,000 tons, it's not a small amount. And it is research, it is there, you can go and look for it. So I take my word back, and okay.
Okay. So Angel, are you going to invest?
No, maybe before I have the last question, are you requiring for a full amount of the project, or are you covering half of it, or I don't know?
Now you're haggling.
I mean,
she's a philanthropist. She can do what she wants.
Well, it's up to you. I mean, the project is spread in 4 different areas of the city. You can, if you want, you can invest in one, and the bank can come in and invest in the other one.
No, you as the owner of the project.
I'm not the owner. It's the local government is the owner. I'm not the owner of the project.
He's just doing good.
I'm doing it for him.
Okay, if it's doing with the government, my answer is definitely no.
Oh.
Thank you.
Controversial.
Clear answer.
Anders?
Well, I think again, this is more of a public place. So if the mayor is interested, we could discuss a loan. I know his balance sheet is quite tight and small, so I think a $15 million loan I would never consider, because I do think he is going to have problems paying it back. I would consider $5 million loan. And maybe we have an innovative product now at the bank where if he can guarantee that we hit some of the impact targets, he could get down to a zero interest loan. So we could put that into the contract, and then make sure that he has incentives to make sure that he hits 100,000.
The 5 million is too small. It's not even bankable for you.
Hang on. Hang on.
Increase it, please.
But if the bank are putting in those checks and balances, would that help some of your concerns as a philanthropist?
As a philanthropist,
I mean, you haven't spent very much.
yes, that's true. Because I need to see a project that's it's bankable. It's for the bank, but for me, it's impactable.
Yeah. Okay.
An impact of 100,000
So,
getting sanitation.
Yes,
service.
but
Yes or no?
my problem is that I know Africa.
This isn't Africa. This
How do
isn't
you
Africa.
know that
This is
is in
Lodah.
Africa?
This is made up.
But it's in which map, Lodah?
You know what? Pick one.
Okay. Okay. So if you are not in Africa, I would consider the investment.
Okay, how much? I need a number.
For this one, I would say 1 million.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're up to 6.
Yes, 1 million to the feasibility.
Yeah?
Yep.
For the technical assistance? Yeah.
Yes.
Makes sense.
I think actually this is also going to help you. Maybe I can hear more about the bank after this, because he want to reassure that there is a safety. So I can invest on this because I know it's where we miss a lot of, we mostly have funds for implementation, but not for that. So I think it's a good step, and I want to invest on the feasibility for this project.
Okay. Thank you. Kitch, briefly, are you going to invest?
No, I would love for the private sector to consider the possibilities of the fish, and even some corporate social responsibility. You know, the 15 million is a lot of money for us. It's our budget is nowhere near that.
Okay.
Even staff salaries and other recurrent expenditure is far less than this. You know?
So that's still no money.
No money.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Prit.
Thank you.
Okay. Our last pitch, and this is the first time we've managed to do this, we have one of the Junior Water Prize submissions pitching now. So our sharks are going to be a little bit nicer because these guys are a lot younger than the rest of us in the room. Not revealing any ages, of course. We're all only just out of university. But so I'm quite excited. So we're going to have Paula and Martina, and they're going to be pitching around a circular reuse and purification system. So ladies, please. Thank you. Okay. 5 minutes when you're ready. Off you go.
Okay. Hello, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here. We are from Argentina. I am Paula.
I'm Martina.
And our teammate Leo is right there.
Okay, our English is not the best, so to avoid confusions, we're going to read our speech. So really apologize for that.
Well, the last year we had the chance to travel to Lodah, a beautiful city with 500,000 people, but with serious water and sanitation problems.
In the urban sectors, all types lose water every minute. In the peri-urban sectors, many families live with little and unsafe water. And the pastoral populations without infrastructure suffers from scarcity and health risks.
When we saw these conditions, we decided to look for a solution that could bring safe water, reduce consumption, and help everyone directly or indirectly.
That's why we created the circular water reuse and purification systems that clean and reuse household water designed for urban and peri-urban homes.
It is installed under the kitchen sink and makes the water drinkable so it can be reused. It could also be placed in other parts of the home.
This is how it works. After being used, the water goes into a chamber with electrocoagulations, where electrodes send small electric charges that join that contaminants.
These groups of contaminants fall and the clean water moves into another chamber with UV light. During the process, the water also goes through several filters that keep it safe.
The result is drinking water that comes from a second tap. The full process takes no more than 40 minutes, so the energy cost is low.
This treatment without chemicals allows the same water to be reused 5 times, and because each cycle costs less energy, it could actually be reused even more times.
After the cycles, the water is sent to a storage tank where it can still be used for another activities at home.
The whole system is automatic and Arduino board controls the closed circuit. You just open the tap and the system does the rest.
If there is not access to electricity, we also have a version that works with solar panels, and we do not use 5 sizes because the system can be adapted to any context.
And even if it looks simple, this system reduces water use by up to 83%.
In peri-urban areas, it means going from 30 liters to more than 100 liters of safe water per person per day.
And even though the pastoral population has no infrastructure, by reducing pressure on the urban and peri-urban networks, they also get more access to water, which step by step reduces the social gap.
In the future, it could be also installed in community centers.
So we want to start by installing the system in 10% of the population.
Here's a proportion. Each system costs $800, so we suggest a payment plan where the bank helps family get the system by paying only 5% of one person's salary per household.
In other words, since each family in Lodah has 5 people, each one will pay only 1% of their salary every month for 10 years.
This way we cover the cost and upkeep of the first 10,000 systems, and the bank receives back the investment with an interest of between 50% and 270%.
Later, this gain can be used to build infrastructure for the pastoral communities.
The plan is step by step. In the first year, we started in 10% of urban and peri-urban households. Every year, we add another 10%. So, in 10 years, 95% of the city will be finally have safe and reusable water.
We also need support from the government to announce the start of this plan to solve Lodah's water and sanitation problems, and this way we can make work with the people who join the program by choice.
About the ecological impact, the benefits are clear. In the first year, almost 1 billion liters saved. In the fifth year, almost 5 billion liters. And in the 10th and last year, almost 10 billion liters saved every year.
Or, in other words, almost 1 out of every 3 liters used in the city will be reused. And this is only by installing the system in kitchens. Imagine if we also install it in every place that creates grey water.
We also improve public health and equality. In urban sectors, we reduce pressure on all pipes and water loss. In peri-urban sectors, we improve the lives of the most imperfect families. And for the pastoral populations, it means safer water, fewer health risks, and more power against scarcity.
This project is not only technology, it is social justice, climate resilience, an example that other cities could copy.
Today, you can turn Lodah's and water crisis into a global model of success.
In conclusion, we need just $10 million to start with the 10% of the town. So the question is not if Lodah can change. The real question is, will you be the partners to make it possible?
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't even know where to start. I mean, if this is the future of the water sector, there's hope, guys. You know, there's enthusiasm, there's some good ideas, but is there investment? Kitch, would you like to go first? I'm going to have to ask you to keep it fairly brief because as a politician, you may have spoken a bit too much.
Yeah. I think it sounds very interesting. So I'd love to see how our banks respond to this because we are cash strapped, and the private sector too. This will really help us, and even our ski queen.
So I love your idea and the way that you worked, and clearly you have the spirit to become entrepreneurs. So congratulations on that. Now I'm just wondering what you're looking for here in terms of money. Are you looking for equity, or are you looking for debt? Are you wanting us to invest in your and be a co-owner of your company, or do you want us to lend to you, or do you want grant money? That's the first question I have for you guys. And then how much, and I can consider sweat equity, that means that you have invested already with your thinking and your working, so you can have a stake in your company, but I still would like to know how much that is. How much time have you invested in doing this?
How much we invested in doing this investigation? Or
Yeah, to develop this idea, right? Because you already started as entrepreneurs. You have already developed this idea, right? So you've spent some time on looking into this.
yes, this is all theoretical actually, but we are from a little town and we don't have so much money to spend on this. So we work with our national university to investigate in this, and we don't spend actually a lot of money. We have a government help too, so yeah.
So you're looking for grant money. You want
Yeah.
all the money.
We need all the money.
Yeah.
All the money.
Okay.
All right, so then it's probably going to be a play between me and the mayor again, because he needs to give away the money. I can't give away money, unfortunately.
Okay, well, let's see. What do our private sector team think of this? Because this is a bit more private sector, isn't it? Yeah.
I see the future. I think for now it's theoretical, but I see the potential to it. I can invest some money because it's an idea and I can see it happening. Let's see what our lady.
Okay. Are you two
Okay,
going to make a bit of a joint
I'm
deal? Are
trying-
you working something out here?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
Angel?
I can see the future and I can see the community that you're looking for to support. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's hear from you.
Is the private sector trying to corrupt me?
I just want to understand your interest.
No, I'm kidding.
Understand.
Yeah. Well, first, congratulations for it. You just traveled to this beautiful city and you got inspired. Very brilliant presentation, and also the story, your personal story behind. The other thing I could say, it's also the connection that you are making with academic process, working with universities, really relevant because it can be a replicable project. So for that, congratulations. I love risk.
Ooh.
And I love. Sorry, I'm from French speaking, so I don't know how to translate this, but like the audace, like. Yes, and it's what I can see with your presentation. Is it tangible or marketable? I don't know. Is it impactable? I could see a potentiality. So yeah, that would be my first comment. I hope this is helping the private sector in the reflection. And the bank is out, huh?
Okay, we need to make some relatively quick decisions. Apologies for putting you under pressure.
I just want to understand on the ownership, since this is theoretical at the moment, and if we were to invest some money for development, what is the share like? What do you since you own it, the share, can I take some share of the company?
Yeah, you want to buy part of the company.
Yes, a part of the company.
You're asking for a share of your company?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we can do that. I think we can accept that.
Be careful what percentage. If she asks for 90%, walk away.
I will invest some money on it as long as I get 80%.
Say no.
But we can still be in the mastermind of the project?
Oh. We'll have to have some conversations about good business sense going forward. 80% means that she owns 80% of everything you make.
Yeah.
So for every dollar you make, she gets 80 cents of it.
I think I'm in if it is 80%.
Oh, she's harsh. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask what everyone else is in on because there's some conversations to be had after this. So please, if you could maybe ask a quick question, but tell us how much you want to invest at the same time, I would be grateful. Thank you.
No, I just want to say that if the equity comes here, then there is ownership and that the bank would trust because the private sector is very experienced there. And if she has more than 50% of the shares, the bank would be able to consider a loan to her here. And if she then commits to pay back, of course.
This is feeling horribly real and a little bit like my mum's here. Wow. Okay. Interesting. I didn't realize banks would do that if you put in... Okay, I'm learning as well. This is good.
For the city, we're happy to facilitate a good enabling environment for you guys to do your business. And because I see that this will benefit us, help us to cut water use and have even cleaner water. Thank you.
And if you're not putting money in, maybe a tax break? Okay, tax break. Okay, enabling environment. Great. Okay.
I think I'm happy to, if we agree the 80% ownership, obviously, I could put...
What about 50,
I could put the 50%, which is like 5 million. So I could spare that, yeah, okay. For sure.
Angel?
The private sector is investing 5 million? Are you investing? Okay, so you guys are already covering the 10 million, huh?
Yeah. Okay. But you can still invest.
I would invest because yes, I mean I know the background and the story, and I will invest on the scalable. So my funds will go for you to also continue elaborating new solutions in the water sector and continue inspiring other people. Also because there is already the private sector that is going to benefit more. So yeah, maybe with my capital you can also get the chance to scale up. So my investment, it's gonna be 2 million.
That's amazing.
For this project. But there is a but. Okay. It need to be well monitored, even if we have the private sector that is engaged and with the bank to ensure that we deliver. It's also important to connect with, as I was saying, with university, which is something you guys are already doing. So congratulations once again.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay. Go back. Okay, so the big question is, though, where are you guys going to put your money? So this is now where I'm going to make Dave in the corner do some maths. So you all have some money. You can invest once and once only. One of you is lucky enough to have $500,000, by the way. It varies. So I would like to know who would like to invest their money in Wally and Fresh Life. Please hold your money up nice and high. Your sharks. High production value in this session. Thank you. Dave, are you doing some maths? I don't do the maths, but I do put horribly mixed up numbers just to make his life harder. Okay. Wait your turn. No conditionality from the diaspora, it's just a free donation. Okay. Right, so next we had John and M-Water. So who would like to invest in the M-Water? Yeah. Oh, interesting. The room likes this one. Okay. Oh, the $500,000's gone up. No. We're very strict. It's a one-time only deal. This is the game. Okay. Oh, you wanted Wally. Okay. Okay. Just keep them up a sec. There's one behind you as well, Dave. Okay. Interesting. This one's popular in the room, John. What does that tell you about your potential market? Okay. Who would like to invest in the constructed wetlands, please? Oh, interesting. Oh, no, that one's, it's upside down, but don't worry about it. It adds to the fun. Okay. It's 1 on 4. Nice and high, please, so he knows you're definitely holding them up. And yes, you do get to keep your shark money. It is yours to take home, and we're very generous in this session. Okay. And then lastly, who would like to invest in the circular water reuse system from our Junior Water Prize team, who are already very well invested in? Interesting. Maybe it's time for us to retire. Can I retire? No? Oh, well, I tried. Okay. Hang on. Okay, not that it's a competition. So, while Dave does his quick bit of maths, I realized that at the start I forgot to introduce why we're even doing this session and who I am. So apologies. So my name is Esther. I work at UNICEF's WASH Innovation Hub based in Copenhagen. And what we're looking at is how we scale proven innovations. So these conversations we have around investment and understanding how banks come in to support other things, and the realities of our mayors who may or may not have a budget, are conversations that we have around viable solutions. As I said at the start, all of these projects are real. The Junior Water Prize one is a concept, but it's still based on work. And so what we wanted to do was highlight some of the thinking that goes into what we would look at if we were investing at scale. Because as UNICEF, we're not going to put $15 million in, but we are going to do exactly as Anders put it, that we might invest some capital and negotiate some deals to make it more affordable for our friends in government who may have a smaller budget. So given all of that, Dave, please tell us how much Wally has received, because she's very worried about her business and whether or not she can scale it. So how much did Fresh Life get for their toilets?
Can I just say thanks? After 6 years of university, 30 years of a professional career, my primary purpose is to replace the $5 calculator.
Listen.
Okay.
Everyone needs a purpose.
$765,000.
700. Are you happy with that, Wally? Yes or no? $5,000. Okay, great. She can work with that. Awesome, well done. Okay. M-Water. Oh, go on.
Interestingly, M-Water, even though they had a lot more numbers being held up, they're all smaller amounts. So it was only 510,000.
Oh, but that's enough. You can do some good work with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll scale up. Okay, great. Well done, John.
I'd like to thank Esther for the odd amounts. The constructed wetlands, 497,000.
Okay. So massively underfunded. We can probably do a feasibility study and a pilot and then look at seeking further investment. Okay. And then lastly, the Circular Water Project.
Circular Water Project, who are willing to give away 80% of their company for only 50% of the ask. Would have received, if they'd just gone to the public, would have received 941,000.
Wow. Well done. Okay. You guys aren't out of the hot seat yet. Dave, could you just push the big circular button on the remote I left over there because I wasn't thinking? Yep, please. Thank you. So, just to wrap up on this scenario, Lodah is not a real city. It was made up. Everyone who pitched was sent a 6-page document with lots of information so that they could come up with a project and we could have the discussion around it. I can share with you how we did it, but my mate Claude, who's from AI, he and I wrote it with a bit of fact-checking from my colleague Quinai. We generated the image using AI as well, just so you know, I'm being very transparent, and we stole the Shark Tank image and music off the internet. Just to reiterate, every single one of these projects is real. It's just not necessarily being used in Lodah because it doesn't exist. So please do speak to John, Wally, Prit, or Paula and Martina about the work that they're doing, okay? But what we want to do now, push the button again, please, Dave, or Prit, thank you. We just want to understand how we support innovation to scale. So at this point, I'm going to go sit over there, and Dave's going to ask our wonderful sharks, who all in their day-to-day job do something very similar to what we asked them to play at, a bit more about in the real world, how they might go about investing for scale. And if this time, we'll ask you guys questions, but given that there's free drinks in about 20 minutes, we'll see where your priorities sit. Thank you. Dave, over to you.
Thanks. Okay. Sharks. It's unlikely that a development bank is going to invest in a small project for one town. You're going to be looking at using that as part of a much bigger project. Similarly, private sector, yeah, it's nice at a local scale to get small things happening, but you're really going to need scale of operation to generate profits across the private sector. The same sort of thing goes at government at a national level. Yes, they will invest in critical cities. Yes, they will invest in whole programs and smaller cities and towns as part of that, but they're not going to invest in a small town in isolation. So in all of this, we're talking about scale. So what do you need in your day-to-day roles to see from investors and innovators, from entrepreneurs and innovators, for you to be willing to invest and drive meaningful innovation and investment at scale? What do you want to see to really, from the people who are coming and presenting, to really make things happen at scale? And yeah, I'll throw that open to anybody that wants to deal with it.
For me, I look at the return of investment, for sure, to scale up. So whatever money I put in, I want to see the return of investment.
And in that, are you likely to see a better return on investment, an IRR, on a larger investment than on a smaller one?
Sometimes the way I see it, in a smaller investment, like the idea of number 4, if I say, when I sit here, I didn't know that I had to invest in a different. I just wanted to understand the whole project first, because I want to put money where I can see the profit straight away. Not even straight away, but how that will come eventually in a bigger profit. This is what I saw on number 4, for example, the scale up, minimum investment, but reaching a big numbers.
No, please.
Well, maybe 3 points. So I'm a bank, and I'm probably not a good institution to reach out to first. I think one of the very important things that you need for innovation is the color of money. So the color of money needs to sound and smell risk and take on risk, right? And that's often the grant money out there, maybe equity, philanthropical money, technical assistance, and not debt. Debt is not really good for innovation. So we need more of that money out there to be able to take these risks that we don't know if this innovation will fail or succeed, but that's it. The second thing is to have pilots in the right environments. We need to make sure that when we do this, we find the right settings for testing the pilots so it can be replicated and scaled. And I think that is sometimes not done. It's tested in a very specific environment, and then it's not able to scale. The third thing is to have hubs or accelerator. And often we see younger people being more prone. You can mix that with experience, but younger people seems to have easier to think out of the box than I have. And then you often need to see the people engaged that is sitting very close to the challenge, to be engaged in the solution making. So local people solving local problems.
Thanks. Good. Yeah.
Now it's a bit challenging because I'm not really a superstar skiing person. So I don't know if I should go back to my real cover or if I can speak as a philanthropist again. Okay, so I can even take the two sides. As a philanthropist, I think there are many people that want to invest but don't know how. or that are restrict. Of course, I am a philanthropist. I work really hard, ski, and I did all the competition to get all my money. But it's also important to make sure that I have a kind of return. And we have seen in some of the countries that is offering for us philanthropists a kind of safety window for investment. So the more you do this, this maybe it's no longer the case, but in the US was a good model for that, for charity giving. The more you give, the better you can also save. So it's not like a waste. So I think we should integrate, as a philanthropist, we should integrate more of these tools that facilitate our donation. And as my real casket, yes. I'm working as CEO of Equity Future, a non-profit organization based in Africa, and we work with community leadership for nature conservation, which I guess was also why I was very focused on the local people advantage in this process. So I think with this regard, we need to trust informal tools. We need to take more risk because, as we can see, all the mostly the institutional mechanism that's not really much to the local reality. We have seen this again. We could talked about it the whole day, but the truth is that when it comes to nature, and we are talking about water, we are here for water. So when it comes to water governance, we have people on the ground that knows what to do. They are living there, they live with their condition, and they already know, they have tools. Maybe it's informal in the academic understanding, but it's already existing. So getting more flexibility for investment, and as the bank was saying, maybe getting more philanthropists on the board to finance what is not bankable or understanding bankable can also help to leverage a solution that can be scalable. But it's also important to integrate some of the modern tools in the process. So it's answering to direction. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Kitch, you have -1 second.
No problem. I think for me it's very simple. It's social capital. It's what makes people's life easy, what improves healthcare, access to, what is it that makes life easy is what I want to see from the point of view of a mayor. That's it for me.
Thanks. Thanks very much. I'm sorry, we've gone over time. I'll try and sum up in 20 seconds. As Esther said, what you saw, these are real innovations. You got some sort of feel for some of the challenges. The fact that if the innovations are not making profit, private sector is not interested. Banks, maybe, depending on what they can do. Really, real appreciation, Anders, for your willingness to look at different approaches to how you can get money out the door. Mind you, that is your job, getting money out the door. But it's also, I think, something really important to consider is there are often different angles when you're talking about innovation and new ideas, different angles to really get investment and buy-in. Don't always think straight and this is it. We go to a bank, we go to a government, we go to a private sector, we go to entrepreneurs and philanthropists. There are a range of different tools that are available. You played the role fabulously. Local government often doesn't really have any money. It's not just a position. And finally, Angel, thank you enormously for stepping into a role. I'd like to thank all of you for your time. And I'd also like to ask everybody if we could have a hand for our sharks and for our Sorry, we don't have time for any questions from the floor, but if you've got any burning questions, please feel free to ask the Sharks if they're able to stay around, or myself, Esther, or the investors if they're all, the entrepreneurs if they're also able to stay around. And names are up there if you have camera handy. Except Anders.
Yeah.
Because a special thanks to Anders who stepped in at the last moment. Because
He was expecting to participate and to watch and not be up there for an hour and a half.
Okay.
So.
So thank you all very, very much. Enjoy the rest of the week.
Thank you.